My name is Sarah Smith, and I am the director of the Children's Museum at Saratoga. We have been here in Saratoga for 33 years. We recently merged with another museum, the Children's Museum of Science and Technology, that was formerly located in Troy. And so we now consider our audience to be the entire capital region. But we deploy from here and we go to all the cities and all the towns in our area. We went from an 8,000 square foot building with a tiny parking lot, to this huge, gorgeous new facility here at the park. 8,000 square feet is our exhibitions alone. So we sort of doubled the size of our facility. We've more than doubled our attendance, and that's great. But the most important part is that we have increased exponentially the number of people who are coming to the museum who may be food or housing insecure. Pre-pandemic, 3% of our visitors were using Museums for All Access Pass, and so that is, people who may be on Medicare or Medicaid or get SNAP benefits through the state. So we are seeing now closer to 14% of the people who visit the museum are receiving some sort of assistance to get into the building. We're super proud of that because we are everyone's museum. We're not funded in large part. We have a very small percentage of state and federal aid. Less than 5% of our budget comes from tax dollars, and so most of the money that comes to run this organization is coming from the people who come through the door. So the people come through the door, and we're able to take that money and open the doors even wider and make everyone welcome, regardless of financial ability, and regardless also of physical and any intellectual disabilities people may have. This museum was designed according to the Universal Design Standards, and so that means that our fire truck is on level. And so if you were in a wheelchair or crutches, you'd be able to drive that fire truck. And that was super important for us to make sure to remove those barriers, financial and intellectual and also physical, so that all are welcome. Children today are way different than children were 33 years ago. I know I myself am way more than 33 years old, but just the way that adults perceive children has changed a lot, and we're just constantly reminding people and that embracing the children where they are, that they learn best through play, that things can be open-ended. It is process, not product. And so when we're doing an art project, we really don't care what the end product looks like. We just want the child to learn and develop through that process. Same with our science experiments, especially if I'm leading them. There's going to be an error. There's going to be an explosion. There's going to be something that goes off, and we learn from those mistakes. We learn from those. That's part of that scientific process. It's built into it. It's built into our educational programming. It's built into our drop-in activities. It's kind of how we learn, and we really embrace that child and where they are. We do have some technology here at the museum, but we hope that children learn that they can play with and learn without having to be on a computer screen, that they get outside. We have 3,000 acres at our disposal, so when the museum's not open or when we're closed during that hour in the middle of the day, we want people to go outside and play and run and see the butterflies and enjoy the natural world, because you can learn a ton from that as well. We are super excited. This year we're looking at changing up a few things in the physical structure of the museum, a few new interactives. We're partnering with a local company, and they've been designing an exhibit, and they hope to install it this fall, and so that'll teach a little bit about germs and how our body responds, which is great because the fall is full of flu virus. So super helpful to know and to explore science. We are still working diligently on creating a playground, so hopefully this spring we'll be able to break ground on that and get some gross motor body activity outside. We're partnering with the Dake Foundation for Children with that, and they've been super helpful in making sure it's a accessible playground and that it's going to work for children of all abilities. So that's that's an exciting new initiative. We are in the park here, and so we are one of the partners in the park. And so now that we are here, we're able to interact more with SPAC and do some fun programming in the summer. You know, we're doing some of their family nights at the at SPAC, and then you know other programming during the year. Another fun initiative, because we are located in the park, that we're really looking to explore more this year is Kids Connect to Parks grant, and that's a grant that is available through New York State, and that allows Title I school teachers to apply to the state for funding to pay for a field trip to the museum, but also for busing. And busing is such an expensive hurdle for various school districts, especially our Title I kids and their districts. And so really encourage teachers to reach out to New York State Parks and Rec. This Kids Connect grant will have the information available on our website, and you know, look forward to making it easier for kids of all abilities and all means to visit the museum. Honestly, I look out the window and I see the children hopping and jumping and running into the museum and squealing with delight. They're so excited to be here. We're so excited to have them. They're happy, they're full of energy, and it is really, it's a joy to work with small children. We really focus on ages 0 to 10, so it takes special people to work with young children every day, but our staff, we get energized by the energy that the children bring in, and it's great joy to be able to work here. So recently, there was a young man came in. He was non-traditionally aged, so a not so well-known fact about children's museums is we also serve adults with intellectual disabilities. And this gentleman came in with an aide, and he was deaf and he had some sort of intellectual limitation. He was so excited to be here. I told him about the Museums for All, that because of his disability that he qualified for reduced admission. He was super excited about that, and he wrote me notes so that I could communicate with him, since I unfortunately don't know ASL. And then he went upstairs, and I was fortunate again to be back at the front desk when he came down after his visit, and he gave me a hug, and he was just like, he was so excited that he was welcome. We were so happy to have him here. He knew he was welcome. He was fist bumping the children. So the children were welcoming him, because an adult with special needs or adult with intellectual limitations is not universally welcome in our society, but a children's museum is a special place, and it's a special place for children and also for adults, and you really see the best of humanity. Those children fist bumping him was like, and then he gave me a hug, and I was like, you know what, this is why I do what I do, because it makes a difference in people's lives, even if it's just for that hour and a half that he was here playing. He had fun, and he was welcome, and he knew he could come back anytime, and he could afford it, and that makes it all worth it. I think it's super important to talk about the fact that the Children's Museum is located inside the park. We are partners with the park. We are not run by New York State. We're happy to work with the state alongside them to shine a light and bring attention to this beautiful historic building we're in. This year we won an award actually from Saratoga Preservation Society for adaptive reuse. And so that is when you take a big, beautiful historic building and you use it for something different. I mean, this building was a bathhouse. People came here and took baths. They paid money to take baths, which is totally weird, and children don't understand that. But it's a great historic structure built in the 1940s, and here we are, it is still a vibrant part of our community, just living a different life. So that same structure can be reused. We talk a lot about the environment and recycling and how important it is to teach kids this stuff, you know, and working on climate change and all of these things, but like, this is recycling. We're reusing something that was already in our community. We didn't tear it down. We shined a light, and now the state is reinvesting in their structure. You can see that they've done a lot of work on the front of the building to make it more accessible to the public. So it's a super successful story in terms of historic preservation as well.